This is the Blockbuster Buff Snap Synopsis segment of the show where we synopsize a movie in under 5 minutes. We're going to get through the entire movie of 40-Year-Old Virgin, directed by Judd Apatow, written by Steve Carell, and Judd Apatow came out in 2005. So we're going to get through, spoiler alert, we're going to be spoiling the whole thing, so get ready.
Yep. If you're not prepared for the spoilers at this point,
then you just started listening to the show. Welcome.
Yeah, welcome. Great to have you. You may want to pause the episode right now to go watch the movie, or just skip watching the movie altogether and listen to this recap.
Yeah, either one is fine. Joe, I think I'm going to start on this one.
Send it.
3, 2, 1, go. So, our main character is Steve Carell, and his name is Andy. And Andy wakes up, and there's a spoon song playing, as all Apatow movies start. And he's walking around his apartment, and he's got, a noticeable erection. Wakes up with morning wood every day, apparently. He goes to his tech job where he's basically has a gross conversation with Seth Rogen, who's another employee there, and then that's the movie. That's basically the movie. And then he has a gross conversation with other employees there, and then there's him and Paul Rudd and Seth Rogen and Romani Malco. I don't know who that is, but basically they invite him to a poker game, and he reluctantly attends, and it comes out that he is a virgin. And yeah, that's kind of where the movie starts. He's 40 years old and he's never had sex.
So since his buddies find out that he's a virgin and they're kind of starting to like him after he comes to the poker night, so they sort of come together to try and get him hooked up with a nice lady or not so nice lady just to get his rocks off. So they do a few things, try and set him up with a few different ladies. None of them pan out. And after a little bit, they just decide they're going to get him drunk. So they take him out, they get drunk, and they start chatting up a bunch of other women. He meets this lady named Nikki, who's played by Leslie Mann. She is drunk, and she offers to take him home, back to her place. But he doesn't drive a car. So she has to drive her own car, super drunk, starts crashing into stuff, and then they finally get back to her place. She pukes on him, and that's kind of a turnoff. So the date is over. He's on his way home.
Yeah, so after that, he's going to give up altogether, but his friends push him into it a little bit more. He asks one of his friends if they find him, or if they think he's an attractive man. And he says, you know what? Yeah, but you got to clean it up a little bit. So he goes and gets a wax, which does not succeed because he's very hairy on his chest. And it's pretty crazy. And then Paul Rudd and them trick him into going to speed dating. So he goes to, talk to a bunch of different people at speed dating. Before this, actually, he does go chat up. Seth Rogen gives him a little lesson on how to talk to ladies, just asking them questions, nothing else, just asking him questions. And he goes and talks to this lady at a bookstore, and Elizabeth Banks, and she's super into him because he just asks her questions and just be's mysterious. It's like run-and game kind of stuff, and he tries this at the speed dating. It doesn't go well. Meanwhile, Paul Rudd runs into his ex-girlfriend, who he's still pining after there, and be's a real creep.
Back at the store, a lady comes in named Trish, who's played by Catherine Keener. And Trish is actually pretty into Andy right away. And Andy's got a little experience talking to women at this point, and so she gives him her number. He doesn't call her for a little bit. He's nervous. He actually pretty likes her. But he is badgered enough by his buddies at work that he finally gets pissed off. He goes down, he asks Trish out, and they got on a first date. She takes him home. They're kissing, making out in bed. We think they're going to go all the way. He's struggling to get some condoms on. Doesn't work out. Daughter walks in on him and totally ruins the mood. He takes off and leaves, but they go back out on another date and decide that they're going to take 20 dates before they do anything physical, just to get to know each other. So over this time, they actually do start to get to know each other and start falling in love.
Yep, and he's trying to make inroads with her kids. She has 3 kids. One of them has a kid, and 2 of them still live at home. And he starts to, talk to her teenager who's really wants to have sex, and they go to like a sex ed class thing, and he admits that he's a virgin there. So her daughter finds out, but meanwhile, Trish still is totally unaware. And then she finds his weird, creepy, like, house with a bunch of games, and one of his friends dropped off a big box of porn, so she just thinks he's like a crazy person. And he gets on his bike, and she runs out, thinks she's going to murder her. He gets on his bike, he chases her down, ends up crashing through a, like, moving billboard, and then she gets out. He tells her the truth, and she totally gets what happened at this point. Cut to, they are in love. They're getting married. They get married. They go up to the room. They have sex. It cuts to black, and then she says, "How was it?" And then they do a big song and dance number, and it's amazing. All right, that's 5 minutes. I think, so that was our 5-minute summary of 40-Year-Old Virgin. If you're watching this on YouTube, check us out on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or Patreon or whatever. And we do have other episodes right now out on YouTube, so you can check that out on our channel. Like, subscribe, the whole deal. And yeah, thanks for tuning in to Blockbuster Buff Snap Synopsis of 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Babe, wait. Babe, wait.